It is time for another mid-year check-in. This time I'll be checking in with all of the journals that I use for memory keeping, tracking, and reading. Hey guys, I'm Tracy and this is A Girl with Plans. I want to welcome you all back to my channel, and for those of you that are stopping by for the first time, welcome. So yes, I have quite the stack of journals and notebooks on my desk because I do use a lot. Yes, there's a lot here. However, some of these I only need to go in once a month. Some of these I only go in every so often. I can't even say every other month. Some of these I do only go in every other month, and I probably need to visit them weekly. We'll get into that as we go through them because I want to kind of do a check-in with these particular journals, update you guys on whether or not I am using them, update you on whether or not I need to use them more or even less, meaning maybe they can just go away from my lineup altogether, and whether I'm thinking about bringing any more to my actual lineup. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. I am going to try to keep this quick. Unlike the planner videos, some of these I'm not going to be able to go through the inside as much, so hopefully that will cut down on the time. All right, so we're going to start with this stack because it's in the middle. It's just easier. This is my reading journals and my reading supplemental journals. So these are my supplementals. This is my reading journal. Yes, I only have one reading journal every year. This is the reading journal that gets updated every month. I would like to update it more than once a month. I have not been as good about that. I do use Storygraph, the app on my phone, to keep track of like when I start and finish a book and things like that and my ratings. So I am able to refer to that when I go to fill in this information. But you can see I am more than halfway through this book. However, with that said, hold up. I think these pages here are all of my annual setup pages. And then these are my monthly setups. So I'm only going to be doing monthlies from here on out, unless at the end of the year I might do a couple of like end of year spreads. But I should have plenty of space to keep on going with both my monthly kind of recaps as well as my reviews. My reviews are getting smaller and smaller. Look how sloppy they're getting. I was like all extravagant with some of them at the beginning of the year. Maybe not really sure, but look, well, no, well, this is the review. That's right. I read 3 of the same books, 3 in a series, but see, I was getting kind of cute with some of them. And then here, look. So, yeah, I haven't been in this to write the reviews as often as I would like. Some of them I have been writing electronically, like I said, in Storygraph. I don't really do reviews that much on there either. I do ratings, but not reviews. But, yeah, so this, I mean, there's really not much to say, because this is something that I keep up with almost like a planner. And I do like to have one per each year. So yeah, I'll be finishing this out to finish out the year. Now, these are the extras. These are the extra books. This one I'm going to have to take all of the stickers off because these Temu die cuts are not sticking to this. But this is my series review book because I do individual books in here. And last year I really came up with, when you invest a whole bunch of time into a series, it's nice to reflect on that series as a whole. And last year I had intended on incorporating that into my actual reading journal, but it's just hard to save pages for those because you just don't know when you're going to finish a series. So many series are ongoing. So, I mean, you can't finish them all in one year unless all the books are already out. And for a lot of the ones that I'm reading, they're like unfinished series. So, I mean, as you can see, I have not updated this at all this year. So I've only done last year's, which I've only finished 4 series last year. And they were 4 books and 2 books. So I'm including duologies in here. But this one, I'm just kind of writing my thoughts of the series as a whole. There is a trilogy that I finished this year, so I need to go back and write my overall views of that series as a whole and kind of do a 2-page spread with that one. I will say as the series get longer, so like Throne of Glass, is, you know, 7 books plus your the extra book, which makes it, I guess, like 8 books. That one, who knows, I might do a 4-page spread just because there might be more to talk about, or I might want to get more creative with junk journaling, or not junk journaling. I usually go on Pinterest or something like that and get some photos off of it, or if I have any like cards that came with books or something, I'll use that. But yeah, so this is definitely a supplement to this in its truest form, and I love that. I haven't been using it just because there hasn't been a need, with the exception of the one series that I finished. And then both of these are challenge trackers. These are for those year-long ongoing challenges. So there are a couple out there that I have found that are ongoing. The first one is the Adventures in Aldea, or the Heirloom Challenge. I don't know the official name. I know you do an Adventures in Aldea. I think it's just the Aldea readathon. Every year there's like a year long. Every month you have a prompt, and that's how you do your Adventures in Aldea. But then there's some Heirloom Academy challenges where you go to get a certificate. So it's supposed to be like 1 month in the spring and 1 month in the fall. You have like some reading challenges based on what the syllabus is for whatever profession you want to seek or calling you want to seek. So I did this nice little setup in this journal last year. And this was the Heirloom Adventures in Aldea for this year. And then I decided I wanted to transfer that particular challenge to this book because I set up this really cool like page, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and I liked the way it looked, but I had no purpose for it. So I'm like, let's just turn this into my challenge book. So this is the Aldea challenge book. I need to cut that. It just has a lot of blank pages now because things are kind of created in the like for the future as my character starts getting certifications, or if she buys weapons or things like that, I'm gonna like post them on some of the pages. So that's the reason why it's not super filled in. But I have the basics here. So like I have a lot of pockets. I did transfer last year's reading challenges, like the spring equinox and the fall equinox, over. Those are the only two. I did not do the Adventures in Aldea last year. I just did the equinox challenges. And I'm going to put the syllabus here so you know why I read those and what I got. And then here was this year. So this one I did a pocket to put the syllabus in. And then I already have the fall one set up too with a pocket. And then my Adventures in Aldea, I pretty much just took it from this book and did the same thing. And then I'll have some more pages. I think I'm also going to like have a place with everything that I purchased and keep a running tally of how much money I have somewhere. So I think like the reason why I switched journals, this was working fine. It was just I had this blackout journal, and I thought it would be fun to play with it and have a purpose, and it has a book on it. And I didn't want to use this as an actual like reading journal for like a specific year, because using a blackout journal is a huge commitment. But for doing like a challenge book, it works fine. I'm gonna still, because there's so many pages used, I'm gonna keep this for all the other challenges. It's just when I set this up, I didn't take into account certain things too, so that's why there's a lot more blank pages in here. But I mean, it's only like 12 pages that I use for the Aldea reading challenge, so the rest of them are fine. But yeah, those are I didn't show you the other ones that are in here. So the reason why this is going to be fine is now I have these pages I can do for another challenge if I discover another one that I want to do every year, because I know Year of Goober, they've like been doing like things ongoing, and I might want to keep track of points or something in here. Not a full-on like section, but I might want to do like a points tally, so next year I know how many points I had, because it's something about if you carry over points you get something extra. I don't know, I have to read up on it. But the Flourish and Blots one is a reading challenge. It's a Harry Potter theme one, and this one will be filled in at the end of the year. I need to finish printing out book covers, but you can see I just have the book covers with washi. These are stickers, but I only have it with washi right now because I'm not sure what prompt I want to like commit to for that particular book. Some of these books can fit multiple prompts, and I kind of want to associate that book with the hardest prompt that I'll be able to fill, because that's going to increase the odds that I can clear out the board. But this is kind of, you know, very like, it's fun. There's a lot of them, but basically you get scores for each level. So like here's the level. 1 prompt, you're an intern. 2 prompts, you're entry level. 3 prompts, you're a professional. Then 4 and 5. And it's based on the color code. So like this is a potions master, Quidditch player, stuff like that. So that'd be fun. It is fun. Now we're going to quickly talk about my trackers. I really can't flip through a lot of these. I can just show you like little bits and pieces of them. We'll start with these because these are a little bit easier to go through. So this is my social media kind of tracker. I have a planner for social media, so I don't pre-plan anything in here. This is just to track things. I do really fun monthly spreads. This whole journal is very nostalgia themed. Like I'm backtracked to like 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. And then we have 26, 27, and 28. So this is going to have like a lot of annual stats, but you can see the nostalgia I'm doing because of the way this cover looks. And then I have a monthly pages. So I think from like here on out, it's just going to be 2-page monthly spreads. Just kind of going on. I might have like something to indicate. I don't know if I'm going to have something to indicate like 2026 or not, or just keep going. I might just keep going because I have like you saw the annual overview. So I don't know, but I'll have enough to get me at least through 2028, if not 2029. So this is just a fun little journal for like highlights, statistics, things like that. So sort of a memory keeper. All right, so now we're going to talk about my health and wellness journal. So this journal is a happy planner. Most of my other ones are Archer and Olive, except for I think one coming up. I'm an affiliate for both Happy Planner and Archer and Olive. So definitely if you plan to make any purchases from either of those shops or even some additional ones, check down in my description box for my affiliate links and my discount codes. Because some of them I do have discount codes that save you money, like Archer and Olive. I have a discount code that'll save you 10%. That's always a good thing, right? So this is my health and wellness. Let me try to find a page I can show you. This is one I'm really glad I did Dutch doors because I've written on the first 2 pages, but this is my measurements. So I wanted a place to kind of house a long-term compilation of measurements instead of just like a life of my short planners, whether it's a 6-month planner, or in this case, a 3-month planner that I have now, or like a year long. I wanted something that can keep longer than that. Then I have pages for progress photos. I do have some progress photos on the page that I did not show you. And then I have like some other charts that I have not been filling out as much. I have like a food like allergy log. I want to keep track of if I start removing foods, not necessarily, I don't want to say a diet, but like in July, I definitely want to start cutting back on dairy. I don't know how that's going to work. Say no to cheese and stuff. Oh gosh, that just saying it, whatever. That's not what this video is about, but I want to like log that stuff, how it's making me feel, things like that. And then I have a place in the back for like prescriptions and labs and stuff like that. So yeah, this is something that I need to utilize more because I haven't been. So I have already made the change to move this to my nightstand in hopes that I will use it. And then the third one is my goals journal. So this is a fun one. This one makes an appearance on my channel, you know, every so often. I did a June setup at the beginning of the month where I kind of went over some June goals. I'm going to do some reflection here. I still have a week left, so I'll probably do it at some point this week though. Do some reflections on how June went as far as the goals that I set for myself and things like that. I've been kind of going back and forth about how to do it. At the beginning of the year, I was going to do these quarterly, these cool like little things quarterly. It's a lot of work to set up. I may do another one of these for the entire second half of the year because I do like this. I do like to have a snapshot in one place of how things are going. So maybe we'll do a big old July goals setup and I can go through this and set it. I really want, maybe I'll draw it off camera, but I'll do a goal setting video. It won't be like decorating and stuff like that. It'll be functional. But I like for the purpose of looking back in the future. So like in 2027, if I want to like skim through how 2025 went as far as my goals, I like the fact of having it in a journal. However, I do not visit this journal very much throughout the month. So I set it up And then I hope to do reflections at the end of the month. I have not done reflections. So like I said, I'm going to do it this month. That has not happened in the past 6 months. So we can hope it happens this month. But at max, I'm probably in this maybe twice a month. And I really need to be in this more frequently. Once to twice a week is ideal, just to check in on my goals, to see if I'm on track. Use this to plan things for the week and my catch-alls and things like that kind of help achieve these goals. So I'm going to continue with it for the second half of the year just because I don't have time to really change it. So if I'm being honest, things are kind of hectic right now, and it's going to continue to be hectic through the end of the year. So I'm going to keep going with this, but I'm kind of thinking about leaning away from this come the new year and maybe getting back into a more integrated approach of goal setting with a planner that I'm using type thing. So it's more of a all-in-one system than having it separate. But with that said, I still may want to use this particular planner for maybe setting overall goals or like quarter year goals or half year goals and setting up word of the year and stuff like that. But I am going to still use it for the second half. So right now, everything is pretty much in play for the second half. And now we're talking about memory keeping. I have a lot of separate memory keeping journals, but you'll see these are memory keepings in certain ways. Some of these you may not kind of consider memory keeping, like this one in particular. This one is one that I'm putting in the memory keeping category because it's a 3-year journal, but I'm not using it like people use their 5-year journals or things like that, where they come in each day and journal about it. So basically what I've gone through, and I've put the 25, 26, and 27 for the next 3 years in all of the pages. I only have enough pages to do 12 a month, which has been turning out great. Let me try to find some prompts that I haven't written on this month. So this month, the month of June, I was behind in setting up my prompts. I did not set them up until we were well in the first week. So I was behind. So I just wrote them sloppily. You can see how sloppy these things are. And I have not done any decorating. So I'll probably will be doing a setup. If not in July, I'll film it in August. Where I show you like the prompts I use. I usually draw a box around it and then I decorate it with some stickers just to kind of add some decorations to the page because I don't have room to decorate in the journaling spaces. But the reason why I said most people would think of a 3-year or 5-year journal as a memory keeper because they come in and they actually write about their day or something like that. I struggle with that because I can never think about what to write about. I feel like I will have a busy day and I still would come in here and struggle about what to write because I have trouble thinking things are important or things might be interesting to look back on in the future. I can't get into that mindset about like, oh, next year looking back, writing about what I did or I did this could be interesting. Like right now, I'm like, why would I care? So I need to get out of that mindset and learn to just put everything down because you never know what you're going to find interesting down the road. But because I'm not there yet, I just created prompts. Now, some of these I did create myself. Some of these I got from various resources on the internet. Pinterest is a great resource. Also, the Coffee Monster Co. has a blog and they do monthly journaling prompts. And I usually pull from the previous years and the current year when I come up with prompts. So that's kind of what I did. You can see like the end of the month, they are kind of generic, like what do you want to leave behind? What do you want to carry? So I do have those versions pretty much all throughout this journal, but there's some fun ones. Like what is a current trend you love? I did get that one from Coffee Monster Co. How do you spend your weekends currently? So that's how it is. So I think I have more than half of them left. So I'm going to have to maybe double up on some days. I hate to do that. But basically, I have enough room for 12 prompts, which is the perfect amount for me. For most months, it's easy for me to accomplish. My initial plan when starting this planner was when I first opened for that month, I'm just going to start with the first prompt, the second prompt, and kind of go in order, which means when I come in on 2026, it will be kind of that prompt will be answered around that same time period. as I did in 2025. However, I just went ahead and like went away from that because I'm like, well, they're all going to be within a 31 day time. It's going to be the same time of the year. And when I come in, like I might come in today and this is the next one. And I'm like, I don't really want to write about that. You know, I'm starting to think about what I want to carry into July. It's close enough to then. I want to write about that right now. So I might skip around. And that's really been more beneficial because I feel like I have more information in my journaling versus if I feel forced to write about that now and not later kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely don't go in order. I go in order for the 12 prompts that month. I want to finish that month, but I might finish like prompt number 10 might be my first entry for that month, if that makes sense. Yeah. So this has been working. So like I said, I haven't decorated this. I do decorate the months. Let's see if I can show you. Nope, I didn't decorate that month. Well, I decorate most months. There we go. See? I have some decorations. You can see where I did some setup videos. I have some florals and stuff like that. Some months I just have not had the time to come in and decorate. So, I mean, I've been lucky to be able to get prompts in time. But the reason why I'm saying that is because this journal I'm going to be using through the end of 2027. So I may not come in and box it in and decorate it this year. I might, 2026, when I get to June, I might decide to go ahead and decorate it. I do still need to do the cover page. So I do have a cover page for the month. And I do decorations all over here. And then I break this up into 3 separate boxes to kind of do overall memories. I have photos printed. I have not put any of the photos in for the previous month. So I don't think any of those have been done. So I can show you one of those. I don't think I've done any of those. Like March, I haven't done any of those. So my idea is to put photos or something like that. Not necessarily journaling, but I could journal. But like for April, I might write Vegas or something like that and then put a photo from Vegas there. Yes, they already have Vegas. So I'll put a photo there. And then this is 26 and this is 27. So I only have one box I can write in. But yeah, this is working great. I love it. I love that I did 12 days only per month. And I love that I went the prompt route. So I'm still considering this a memory keeping journal. Then we have this one. You guys probably have not seen this very much. So I got this from a self-care box from Archer and Olive. And this is a All About Me journal. And this journal is just a fun kind of memory keeping about the person that I am currently. So I did do some pages last year. And then I think I decided to use this journal late last year. And then this year, did I create a cover page? I have not created a cover page yet, but I've created only 2 spreads. Things I love and loving about me. They're not filled in because I want to fill in all the spreads for this year at one time. My initial thought was create enough spreads. I don't know, anywhere between 10 and 20. It's probably going to be like 12 because, 12 prompts and this one seems to be working. And I want to fill them in all at one time to capture, Tracy in 2025. I had originally thought, hey, it might be good to try this for my birthday month, which was May. Didn't happen because I only had 2 spreads. So now I'm thinking end of the year. But I want to get all the spreads done way before that. So that way come December, I can just come in here and fill out some of these prompts. And I'm going to have prompts like what's currently on my playlist type thing. Like what am I currently listening to? I don't know. I don't know yet. I have to think about it. I know my little journal does, if you watch her YouTube channel, Heba, she does one of these. She does it in January. Every year she'll do 31 prompts and does it in January. Some other people, I don't know how they do it. I think they might do like a year-long thing and do it every month. I think it started maybe Allie Edwards. It might be like an Allie Edwards project type thing with the binder system. But yeah, so I'm trying to like do my take on that in this journal. Of course, like I said, I have 2 spreads for this year. But hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have at least 10. And I'll be filming some of those because I think they are fun. And I think even though I have them in a separate journal, this is obviously something that can be done in any type of notebook or journal. And it's kind of good because, I think now that I'm pushed it off to December to filling it in, I'm kind of excited about waiting until December because I find at the end of the year is where, while I'm excited about 2026 and because I'm like so like looking forward to it and prepping for it, you start reflecting on 2025 and you only pull out like things you need to work on. So things that aren't up to par. So you're not really in that like, great rah 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 mindset, because you're kind of thinking how you want to improve on next year. So I feel like, you know, writing some good memories about myself and, you know, some positive affirmations about myself could be good around that time of the year too. We'll see. But right now it sounds like it'll be good. I hope I can get it done. And then this one you guys have seen a lot on my channel because I usually do setups. I didn't do a setup this month because this is just kind of a boring basic setup, but this is my currently journal. Yep, it's just where I do like the Happy Planner currently page. I just put it in a journal format. So yeah, this month I only did like 4 prompts and I did just 2 pages. And that's it. Over here, it's just for my monthly highlights type thing. But like last month, I did this tiny Dutch door to give myself a little bit more space. And then previously, I kind of did like a waterfall tab Dutch door situation here. I did not do February. So this is the first year that I've done a month and haven't actually updated it. I did not do February. And then I did not do March. So I skipped from February to April. So this year has been kind of off. But for the most part, I have been... Aside for those 2 months this year, I have been consistent in this journal for 2 whole years. This journal started in May of 2023. So I think I have, depending upon, you know, if I start doing 2 pages per month, then I'll have like maybe another year, and then some. If I do the 2 pages per month instead of the 4 pages per month, then I might have a couple of years left. So that's that. These two are very similar but very different. These are just general memory keeping. This one is memory keeping about big events, and I do this more scrapbooking style. This is one of, like I said, I had a couple of planners that were not Archer and Olive. This is one of them. And I have photos in here of other people. So like here is like when I went on a cruise. So I did one for that. I did one for another cruise. And then when I went to Universal. So I kind of like journal about events. So like, you know, a birthday, if I go to a birthday party or a wedding or something like that, then I'll journal about that here. With some photos and some like memories and stuff like that. So this gets used very intermittently. There are some events that I've already missed for this year. So I have pictures printed and I plan on going through it and doing that soon. And this one was supposed to be my weekly journal. I started it in beginning of March or end of February. And you can see March 24th I didn't do. And March 10th, the week I didn't do. The thought was I really wanted to do a like weekly journaling because I struggle with daily journaling. So I'm like, maybe weekly journaling will help and be easier. It worked for the first few weeks and then I fell off. I think I want to keep this as an option. So I'm not going to like put it back on the shelf to like forget about. I'm going to keep it on my active journal shelf because I do want to kind of get into journaling and this might help. I definitely will remove the date here, but I really would like to somehow at least once a week journal because eventually I would like to get into daily journaling and this is kind of my gateway to that. With that said, if this is just not working and it's never going to work, then I'm fine. I will just create a new cover page for something else and then start it there. Not like reading journal or something, but some kind of like simplistic type use for a bullet journal. And then finally, we have this guy. You might have seen this recently on my channel. This is the Archer and Olive Heirloom Journal. I'm using this for my travel bucket list. And as I visit those places that are on my bucket list, it becomes a memory keeper of sorts. So you guys saw, if you've seen my other videos, you saw me set up some of this. I did set up my cruise log off camera. So I did this and it's a 2-page log because there's just a lot of stuff to capture. And then I'm going to probably do 2 more pages of that log just because for cruises, I'm not going to have as much information. This is pretty much going to be it. And then I'll just post photos and stuff. But I have like a US section. So I plan on doing a log here, a bucket list and log. This has been a work in progress. You can see I've put some photos down. I haven't really done journaling. I've been writing like places I've been and stuff in there. But that's pretty much what it's going to be. It's going to be like a place I visited this, I did this type thing on this date. Because I might visit, you know, like Illinois. I might go back to Chicago, and I want to note that. So even though there are boxes on here and there are a few pictures, I might not fill in this box just in case one day I go back. But yeah, so I set up that. And then I have an international section, and I have some international pages already done, or have I not? Yeah, I did that one. So yeah, this one is a work in progress. I have been working on this a lot recently. I've been in kind of the mood to do it. So I've been working on this a lot recently. But this is like, because a lot of the things that I'm going back and capturing are in the past anyway, I feel like no major rush. So I just kind of, you know, I get into these moods where I really want to work on this journal. So I work on it. So yeah, this is also a memory keeper. So this gets used whenever I travel. Of course, right now, like I said, I'm using it more creatively to set it up. But once it's set up fully, then once I take a trip, I'll come in and update it. So very intermittent. But I think that's it. I have a few other journals that I sometimes pull out for creative purposes, you know, to create a fun Dutch door, waterfall tabs, or something like that as inspiration hits, but they don't really have a purpose. Plus, I have a whole bunch of unused journals. So when I start trying to think about what I want to use for next year, it's going to be interesting because a lot of these are going to continue in. You saw the only journal that I wouldn't be continuing into the new year would be my reading journal, because I start a new one every year. But every other journal that I showed you are multi-year journals. So yeah, I think for the most part, what you see is what's going to continue being in my lineup. I do have a Go Wild journal that I didn't show. That one's almost done. So I think I may have enough for another year, but I don't know. I might have to start another journal for that one already. But, and that's only been 2 Go Wilds. I really have filled that up. But, yeah, that's my journals. I wanted to film this video in particular because, like, I do have a lot of journals. But because they have so many, I'm not going to pull them all up on my desk, but because they have so many uses, they can kind of give you guys ideas whether or not you want to put it in its own journal or incorporate it into a current journal or planning system. I just like to give you ideas of some of the things I'm tracking or doing in case it sparks some inspiration for you. But there we go, guys. That was this is probably like a quarter of my journals. And yes, they are all coming with me into the second half of the year. Some of them I hope to be using a lot more frequently. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit that thumbs up video. That really does help with the YouTube algorithms. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing to my channel because there's going to be a lot of setups. I have, you know, when it comes to planners, I haven't been as consistent with the decorating there just because I've been more functional, which means I need a more creative outlet. So I think you're going to be seeing some journals make more appearances on my channel because I need to do that creative outlet. So like this one, I'm probably doing a lot more setups just because I need to release some stress, and that's a good way to do it. So definitely subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so that way you'll be notified when I do release content and, you know, like I said, some upcoming plan in my journal type content. All right, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch this video, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.